I appreciate you guys for coming out. Again, I'm extremely excited to be here and working with this program, and it's been amazing. The first few weeks have been unbelievable. So, Paul has been great. We've had a lot of additions to the staff. Guys are working really hard. The players are really coming together off the field, and it's fun to watch them compete and get better as players on the field.
Bobby, Paul is of the opinion that if you're a good football coach, you're a good football coach. You can coach multiple positions, like moving Bostad when he came here to inside linebacker.
Right.
Have you worked much with quarterbacks before, and will there be any transition for you? Just maybe some of the fundamental stuff, or is it going to be seamless? How do you think you're going to handle it?
I've worked with quarterbacks all my life.
As a catcher, yeah.
So I understand, but it's not going to be an issue. And I agree with his statement. A good coach is a good coach, and I'm willing to work hard and learn some things that I need to learn, but at the same time bring a lot to the room. I'm excited to have Keller in there with me, Chris, as an assistant. He's played the position at a high level. We do a great job of communicating and working together.
When you say learn some things you want to learn, what are some of those things?
Just the nuances of playing the position.
Okay. What have been your early impressions of Graham?
I'm sorry?
What have been your early impressions of Graham?
Of Graham? I've been impressed in terms of Graham's approach. He loves football in terms of his work ethic. He's willing to work at it mentally. He's a sharp player. He's willing to work at it physically. Come in early, stay late, and try and do everything he can to get better as a player. And I'm excited to see what the future has in store. But I think Graham's in a great place. I think he's a strong leader that's really committed to being the best for himself and his team.
I don't know how much you've had a chance to interact with Mickey now that Mickey Turner, now that he's with But if you have, what have you been impressions of him? How he can help this program?
Yeah, I've worked with Mickey quite a bit on the recruiting side. And number one, me and Mickey had a prior relationship, working together in Pitt. So I respect Mickey as a person and as a man. He did a great job with the tight ends, just watching the film last year and watching a bunch of the individual drills when I first got here, getting caught up. And I'm impressed. Mickey's very organized. He's smart. He's sharp. And I think he's going to help us a lot.
Has there been anyone in particular with these first couple practices that has really caught your eye? You've noticed a lot of growth early on from?
Early on, it's just guys are flying around. I'm just looking at the big picture right now. Not so much as trying to narrow in on a guy, but let's, as an offense, let's learn what we're doing collectively. Let's see how we can perfect what we're doing individually, within that concept. And just seeing who's going to grasp the big picture of what we're teaching in the run game, in the pass game, and protection. So, guys will start popping out. We've only had 2 practices, about 100 plays. So guys will start, separating themselves. But more importantly, man, the spring is really a time for us as a team to come together and push each other to get better, offensively, defensively, and within each position group. Offensively, the receivers are going to push each other. Offensively, the O-line is going to hold each other accountable. So that's what the spring is about. It's really about us and the Badgers and how can we continue to work hard and improve and get ready for the fall.
How much of the spring for you is still figuring out who these guys are, what kind of players they are, just learning how to compete them?
Yeah, I think that's certainly a part of it for me. Just being on the field with them for 15 practices is going to be great. The first 2 have been really good. So you get a chance to run different routes. You get a chance to see formations, motion shifts. You get a chance to watch a guy run routes or receive the handoff and play football for a few weeks now, and then you get a sense of who they are. So it's going to be big and it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to see what each guy could bring to the table, because we've done a great job of bringing some talented guys in here, and so I'm looking forward to. We got some young guys, but they're talented. We got some veteran guys that have kind of been there and done that. So I think we got a good mix and a good blend right now.
And just the couple of practices you guys have had, what are a couple of things that have really stood out to you about whether it be like a specific area of the team or whatever?
I think the effort. I think the love for the game. I think the camaraderie amongst the guys, offensively and defensively. The competitiveness. Guys are out there and they're competing hard. So those are a couple of the things in terms of the tangibles that just jumped out at me.
Schematically, how similar or different do you expect this offense to look to the way Wisconsin offense is traditionally?
Yeah, I think that's going to determine itself over time. But I think you're going to see some things that you recognize, and hopefully you'll see some things that are unfamiliar. But I think right now we're in the process of terms of let's get back to the fundamentals. I think every year you have to rebuild the foundation, and you have to start over with the fundamentals. And this is our first time together as a team, as an offensive unit. So I think over the course of time that will define itself.
Well, with Al Johnson, I was just recently hired. Still early, but how have you seen him develop relationships with running backs? How do you think he's working with that group right now?
Yeah, I think Al's been great. I enjoy talking to Al, and I know the players do as well. He's very sharp football mind. He's a guy that's worn a lot of hats. He's a guy that played here, and he understands the game. And I think he's a great teacher. So I think that the running backs are excited to have him. I'm excited to have him, and I'm looking forward to working with him.
As you reviewed tape from last year, I don't know how much further back you went with these guys. What are some of the things that you think that this offense has to improve to kind of take that step up and score more, kind of produce more on the field?
I've watched some tape, but the focus right now for us is like, how do we move forward? There's certainly things that you can take from last year's tape, but like I said, this year we're starting with a blank slate and laying the foundation for the 2022 Wisconsin Badgers. You look back and you say, turnovers. How can we secure the ball more? And you can start looking at some technical stuff with each group. But I'm really excited to start this thing fresh and new from where we are and build on it and move forward.
What appealed to you about this opportunity?
I'm sorry?
What appealed to you about coming here?
A lot. As I said in my opening press conference, just the program, the tradition, its history, prior relationship with Paul and his approach, not just to the game. I think, philosophically, we think a lot about football in the same way, but also the way he relates to the players and the way he loves being on the football field and coaching. And I was excited about all of those things, and obviously I had some intimate knowledge with Dean being here, so I just liked the direction and the trajectory the program was going, and it's a great opportunity for me. I'm honored, I'm humbled to be here and to be a part of this, and hopefully I could do some things to help us win some games.
Speaking of Dean, how is he? I know it's only 2 practices. How's he looking so far?
He's trying to get the offense down, man. I told him he was over on defense and kind of learned and had it figured out. Coach Leonard and the staff did a great job. But no, it's been fun. He's smart. All of the guys are in the same boat in terms of working at it. And that's what we're excited about as coaches. We get a chance to teach. We get a chance to teach it in the classroom and go drill it on the field, and then you let those guys go out and play. So, he's part of that mix, and those guys they'll be competing hard for some spots.
You and Paul both talked about the play calling being a collaborative process. Just how will that kind of work in terms of who gets final say, that type of thing?
Well, he's the head coach.
Right.
I think let's start there. But, I'm going to call plays, but how does that look in terms of collaborating? I don't really know yet because we're just starting the spring. But, Paul has a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience in calling plays, so I'm gonna lean on him. I'm going to talk ball with him. What that looks like in real time in the game, I'm not sure yet. But, it's going to be fun and it's going to be challenging to figure it out and to work hard this spring to make sure, we're building the type of offense that we want to see.
I know it's early in spring, but what have you seen from your offensive line so far? It seems like there's just a lot of guys that are really starting to press for trying to get on the field this season.
Yeah. You see an athletic group that's detailed, that's workmanlike in their approach. It's hard to say who's, but you got guys that have experience. Nelson, Bordellini, Beach, Brown, these guys have played football, right? Fernie. So I'm excited. I think there's some competition there. And obviously having Coach Bostad back in that room, his track record speaks for itself. I felt like I knew Bo when I came here after listening to Kevin Zeitler for a whole year. He was behind me, right, in the meeting rooms every day. But no, I think Bo's got a tremendous track record, and he does a great job of, just technique and preparing those guys and getting them ready to play. So I'm excited for our O-line and to see how they look as we continue to build and gel.
With Bob moving the offensive line, but then having Al, you're learning, talking to Albus Whitted, and then Chris also taking over the tight ends. Just how much for spring is it, not just for the players to build and develop, but also for the coaches to develop and build bonds and learn how to work with each other too?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think it's important. Al just came in, a week ago? You know, I came in a month ago, so you know we're working hard to make sure we're right as well. But there's a lot of communication going on, which I love. There's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of great ideas. And again, this is I tell guys all the time, this is our offense, man. This is all of us. We're all invested. So I'm excited. Alvis has been great. You know, he's sharp. He knows how to prepare receivers to get the best out of them. And this is, I think Paul's put together a really good staff. And I'm excited to see how we work together.